2020's been a pretty crazy year, and being stuck at home hasn't been easy for everyone, but you know who really enjoyed us being stuck? The tanks. What's going on, reefers? My name's Blaine. This is the King Tide Corals channel. If you guys are new to this channel, I want to welcome you all and say thanks for coming by to check out the video. If you guys haven't done so already, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you guys don't miss out on any future uploads. 2020's been a crazy year, and I know we can all attest to that, but one thing I definitely have enjoyed throughout this entire year is spending a lot more quality time with my reef tanks. I know that they've definitely enjoyed it, but one thing that's really been nice for me is a little escape from the craziness that goes on a day-to-day process out here in the world. I know 2020 has not been the easiest year to get through, but one thing we can look forward to is that 2021 won't be 2020. We can only hope it gets better from here, right? So let's go ahead, get into some updates, check out the tanks and what's going on, and see what 2021 has to hold. I want to give a big shout out real quick to one of my favorite coral foods on the market. I've used their stuff for quite some time now, and it's been really great in my reef tanks. I want to give a big shout out to Reef, who creates Benepets. I think Benepets is one of the best coral foods out there on the market, and you can utilize it in any SPS, LPS, or even soft coral tanks. And I know for me, even filter feeding inverts really enjoy this stuff. You guys know I love my Christmas tree worm rocks, and these guys really love these Benepets. So I want to give a big shout out to Reef for sending me out this little care package, and I want to talk a little bit more about their great food. Benepets is made up of naturally occurring phytoplankton and organic superfoods. I think it's a really great blend, and it also doesn't mess with your water quality in your reef tanks. That's a huge plus for me because I've used some other coral foods that make it a little harder to keep really pristine water quality while you're still able to feed your corals. Benepets is really great at not degrading your water quality while at the same time being able to feed all your corals. I know I personally do all kinds of different ways of feeding my corals, but the two ways that I've utilized Benepets the best and I think has gotten the best results out of it is spot feeding some corals and also broadcast feeding the entire tank. I'll show you guys a couple videos of when I'm spot feeding my mushroom garden here, but also at the same time, I think it's really great to be able to broadcast feed it to your entire tank. I know I have a lot of corals and inverts in the tank that really enjoy this stuff, so it's really great to just be able to throw it in and have the MP10 just push it around throughout the entire water column. I shut off the protein skimmer and the return pumps to allow it to stay inside the display volume, and I just let it get pushed around and let everything just enjoy it. Overall, if you're looking for a new coral food or you're just wanting to add another thing to your feeding arsenal, I think Benepets is a great addition to any feeding collection. I think overall it's one of the best foods out there on the market, and if you guys want to learn more about Benepets and Reef as a whole, I'll leave a link down in the description to their website. Go ahead and check it out. Alright, reefers, time to get into the lagoon, and honestly, I am really happy with how everything's looking. I think overall, the soft corals have no doubt outshined everything in the tank, and I think I'm starting to lean towards more of a soft coral dominated tank. The mushroom garden's looking really good here in the back. The Christmas tree worm rocks are out and about enjoying life, but overall, the tank's looking really good. There's been some ups, there's been some downs throughout this year, but overall, I think this tank has really thrived and done well. As for the equipment, I'm really happy with this eShops mini skimmer, and also the Kessel AP9X has definitely provided ample lighting for this reefing system. I still have yet to get this AFS set up and running. I just am being too lazy about it, but I would definitely say the Trident, no doubt, has been some of the best things that I've added to a reef tank. I think it's really helpful, and overall, it's given me a lot of peace of mind when it comes to the tank. As for the corals, I think everything's looking really good. The Japanese pink Nepthia is really taken off. I think the toadstools really love it here. The finger corals looking good. The zoas have kind of peeled back. I've had quite a bit of die-off from them, but it's weird because here in the front, these zoas are definitely taking off and doing extremely well. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the fish. The cleaner ass, Lucky, is loving life and still doing extremely well. He's really enjoying this tank, and I'm really happy I was able to give him ample nutrition and keep him healthy in the tank. The clownfish have seemingly paired off finally, and the female isn't beating up as much on the male, but as you guys know, anytime there's a clownfish pair, there'll be a little bit of fighting and push around. The Cherub Angel has been good, but just as of lately, he kind of went a little rogue, and you guys can tell that I'm missing the MPS Gorgonian here in the front. It's been moved to the back because it got so beat up from him chewing away on it, but I left it in the tank because I didn't want him to get any taste for anything else in the tank, and so I kind of left it back in the back for a snack for him. Overall though, I'm really excited about how this tank has turned out, and I think overall, the Lagoon has been such a fun project in 2020. It's definitely kept me away from all the craziness that's going on out in the world, but it's been really nice to kind of kick back and enjoy this tank here during this crazy year. Now that I've given you guys an update of what's going on with the Lagoon, I want to get you guys all updated on the Mini Complete tank. I know it's been some time since I talked about this tank in general, and as you guys can see, Pistol Pete has totally had his way with the Scape in general. I think overall though, this tank has been really fun to have up and running, and it's a different tank to have for sure. It's so small, and honestly, you guys can see just by the size of my hand next to it, it's really hard to kind of maintain the right parameters with it, so keeping any harder corals or anything like that is not really ideal for this tank. I know you can manipulate it and add some modifications to it to make it a lot easier to keep corals, but as for me, I think it's just really cool to have some macroalgae in here and just see the little things that come from the macro or the sand that's able to develop into little life forms here in this tank. Overall though, I've really liked the Mini Complete tank, and it's been fun having for 2020, but I think going into the next year, I think I may be shutting this tank down just to focus on other things like the macro shorelines build and the Lagoon in general. I have some other projects in mind that I have in my head, so I think maybe this tank may be getting shut down. But if you guys leave a comment down below and convince me that I should keep this thing going, maybe I'll just keep it up and running. But overall, the Mini Complete has been really cool to see run. There's just a couple things I would say are kind of tough with it. You guys can see there's quite a bit of salt creep that happens throughout the tank, and also topping it off can be kind of an issue. I tend to forget that at times, and so setting up an ATO for this would be really nice, but also it's a little excessive for such a small tank. Overall though, the Mini Complete tank was a really fun project to have on this channel, and I know you guys really enjoyed the tank. Before we get into an update on the Macro Shorelines tank, I want to stop real quick and thank all of you guys. That's right, I want to thank you guys, the people who have decided to watch my video and check out my channel. To the 500 plus people who have subscribed already, thank you so much. It's crazy to think we actually reached 500 subs before the new year. I didn't even think it was possible to reach 500 subs within a year, let alone before the new year. It's been really awesome growing this channel with you guys and enjoying everyone's presence and being involved in the comments and my videos. To Remy, thanks so much for making this Reef News Network podcast and actually convincing me to finally make this channel. So once again, thank you all so much, and thanks to the 500 plus people who have subscribed already. And if you guys haven't subbed and you guys like what you see, just click it. It's not too hard. You just gotta click the sub button and you're a part of the family. All right, reefers, the Macro Shorelines tank, in my opinion, is really starting to take off. I know I've added quite a bit of macros to the tank already since you guys have last seen, and also added some new equipment. This tank has been really fun for me. It's a new build and a new style of reefing that I've really started to enjoy. I also have some more macro right here that I need to get added to the tank, but I don't want to go into too many details about this tank in the update because I'm going to be giving it a well-deserved update in the new year. But overall, this tank has been super fun, and I think it's going to be a really fun project in 2021. Overall though, the new build in 2020 has definitely been one of the funnest part of this new year. And I know that you guys are really enjoying it because I got a lot of good feedback when it came to this tank on my Instagram and on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys for giving me all the shout outs and comments and all the positive feedback with this tank. I'm really excited about what's gonna come with this Macro Shorelines, but for now, I'm really enjoying it. All right, reefers, that's it for this week's episode, and that's it for 2020. It's been a really crazy year, but thanks to all of you guys and to you guys in the tank, I've had a lot better of a year. It's not been easy for everyone, but you guys have made it a lot more fun. Thanks so much for being a part of my reefing journey, and if you guys aren't already subscribed, please be sure to do so. I look forward to 2021 and what it brings, and also I hope you guys enjoy your Happy New Year. We'll see you next year.